What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribable, aka Jerrilyn Lake, checking in with my bestie,
Lene Monet, and this is the She Said It Sir. Not the She Said It Sir. The She Said It First podcast, an Urban One podcast on the Urban One Podcast Network.
There we go. I know that's right. I already know what type of episode this is going to be. So I'm just going to get right into it because I could not wait to tell you what irritated me this week, friend. I couldn't wait.
Please. Yes, I would love to know. I'm so nervous.
People who wait to the last minute to do stuff and then rush everybody around them like it is now a top priority.
Friend, that pisses me off too.
And you know who I'm talking about? Myself.
Who?
Talking about me. Because now that I have been completely irresponsible as an adult, I need everyone to rally around and help me save myself from myself.
Throw the life vest out there. Like, hello, don't you see me here?
Why are y'all so inconsiderate? You knew I had this problem when you met me. Get it together. Come on now. Let's get into it.
I'm done. Girl, let me tell you what irritated me. And I'm going to try to make a long story short. This is going to be quick. Okay, so I'm watching the ID channel. I just started watching the ID channel for whatever reason. It's sparking my interest, right? So this 12-year-old girl goes missing, right? Okay, they find her body. Of course, she's pronounced dead. Okay, boom. So they interview all of the neighbors. And they had one of the neighbors come in and she just rolled off her tongue like she giving her order at Starbucks that her boyfriend is actually a rapist and that he's actually registered as a sex offender. And of course he did it, because couldn't be then who? So of course he did it. But I just want to know, what are they telling y'all? So you get is this discussed over tea? Are y'all eating breakfast? And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, because I promise you, there is nothing that you could tell me for me to still stay with you. Not only that, bring you in the house with me and my kids and the other kids in the neighborhood and put everybody in jeopardy. Please let me know, what are they saying to y'all? What are they saying to convince you that it's okay to still be with them? I want to know. I have to know.
I could tell you one possible theory. The internet is abuzz with people talking about how there's a shortage of men. And I refuse to compete for pedophiles and rapists. I'm sorry. God loves me more than to make my only option be that. I refuse. And so I think maybe it had to be low self-esteem. She probably thought that she couldn't do any better. And I mean, I wouldn't even want to be with somebody who I knew was attracted to children, because what are you saying about me?
Girl, and not only that, I'm going to move you in with my children. And she had 2 boys, moved them in with her children. Baby, the way he would have told me that information, and I would have had a stay away order, and I would have booked a flight out of town and got a new house, and I would have had some on my social media saying, beware, okay? Beware of predator.
Exactly.
What makes you want to sleep? And then Jerrilyn, that just pissed me off. I'm just because if it wasn't acquitted, you must have did, okay? The DNA was found somewhere.
Ma'am. Now, I don't know what to say, because to each their own, because our girl, Barb Queen, she, they love to say, extenuating circumstances. I don't care what the circumstances are. Your name is on that list. Pack it up.
Period.
Pack it up.
Period.
And speaking of abusive men, why don't we just roll all the way into the first story for today?
Okay, friend, what happened?
Diddy's abusers, the list, the abused people, it just keeps getting longer and longer. So we've seen that a lot more people have come forward. And of all people, as if now was the perfect time for her to rush to his defense. And all these other stories have come out and she ain't said nothing. Janice Combs, Sean's mother, she has entered the chat, baby. And she said, my son is not the monster they have painted him to be, and he deserves the chance to tell his side. I can only pray that I'm alive to see him speak his truth and be vindicated. Now, a couple things. A couple things. Ladies, shut up talking to us. We saw the tape.
Please, immediately.
We saw the tape, and there's no way you ever thought that you were going to, I get it. stand by your baby. That's your baby. But let's have a conversation about how a lot of mothers enable the poor behavior of their sons because they can do no wrong. That's my baby. Either he man of the house or whatever the case may be. And it's so aggravating because you raising little monsters. And I'm not saying that she's in any way to blame for his behavior because that's a grown man. But to come out in defense of his actions, like that just was not a smart move to me.
Totally agree. I totally agree. I think that she definitely got too ahead of herself. We could have done without hearing from her at all. She could have just supported in silence. Just show up to the court dates and listen with the rest of us. I don't think that her testimony or whatever she feels, because one thing, putting innocence in that entire paragraph is crazy when we have video evidence of the type of monster he is. So maybe we can't speak on everything. Okay, that's cool. But that specifically, we definitely can. And that, nothing about that says innocent behavior. That says that your son beats on women. And you being a woman should have a different approach to this entire situation. Like, your response should have been no response. But if you did give one, it should have been more of, keep him in your prayers. Okay, he won't be in mine, but he'll be in someone's. At least we know he'll be in yours. Right. We could have just went with that and moved on. I just feel like these parents, and this is kind of what we went back to Boosie, where it's like, what's wrong with just not, don't get involved. Don't say anything. Just move around. Like, it doesn't always need your input, especially when there is evidence against him. There are things that he has done. And let me tell you the biggest crime. Not only did he abuse Cassie, but sitting up there using all that baby oil and not leaving none for the babies was disrespectful. It was very disrespectful because his baby's out here with eczema. Okay? They need to lather up and they don't got none for them kids.
And ironically enough, I know you're joking, but ironically enough, they came out and said that one of his abusers was at the time, the youngest was 9 years old. It is insane to me that, first of all, it's very weird behavior. I don't judge people for their kinks or whatever, but we're talking about kink is a word that should be reserved for consenting adults. And when you are doing sexual things with children and people who are incapacitated or who are unconscious or whatever the case may be, like, you're not only a monster, you're a terrorist. I feel like you are a terrorist because that is, there's nothing that a teenager or anyone underage, I've never looked at them and been like, oh,
ever, never
did it. Like, that's insane to me. So the fact that we're even having this conversation, and we know that it's gone on for years. We know plenty of people are guilty of it and they go unpunished. But this word that she used, vindicated, girl, is triggering me in my spirit because it presumes that this man should be owed an apology if it comes out that he'll be found not guilty. And at the very least, we all know how court cases go. The justice system is extremely flawed, especially as it relates to Black men. However, the proof is in the pudding, no Bill Cosby.
Absolutely.
And so I just think, it's a poor choice of words. She shouldn't have had any words to say. Like you said, like, she could have been like, my heart goes out to anyone who felt that they were abused. Because you know how narcissists be. They're very particular with their words. Oh, if anyone felt that they were abused by my son, or if anyone thought that my son had malicious intent, I would have even accepted that. But at this point, because we know how close women are to their children and we know how they will defend them to the death, you should have kept them out there. Now you're going to jail. You're going to jail too, though.
Lock her up as well. Because if you had anything to do with them parties or you was there, since you just know he's going to be vindicated, you must have been present. So if you were present, then you also need to be locked up. But also just like going that far. And I want to talk about like specifically women and their sons, like you said. We really didn't touch on that. But it really gets dangerous. I've even dated men who the relationship feels weird sometimes. Like, it doesn't feel like
it's almost romantic.
Yeah, like, it's romanticized in a way that kind of makes you feel like you're in the way. Like, you're in the way of their relationship. Yeah, like, they're trying to push you out. And it's just, I don't know, just that overbearing need to nurture excessively. I guess I'll say it like that. Like how you would your man. And I think that this is what we're talking about. Forget the money. I mean, I'm sure the money has something to do with it, but I do feel like in this situation, she is overstepping completely. And it's like making a fool out of herself.
Well, I mean, wasn't he about to put the house up for bail? So where was she gonna stay? Because does
Where
she have a
was she gonna
separate
stay?
home? I don't know.
Girl.
It's a lot going on, and I think that when again, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Men with money can do not even almost unfathomable things, like getting people to defend him and still show up to his parties, knowing who he is. And I like the people who just decided, okay, I have a lot of respect for people who, even if you felt like you were too scared to say something, stop enabling it. Stop going to the parties. Stop promoting this man. Stop showing up to support him in ways that help him abuse people.
That part. And stop dropping your kids off to him. Please stop dropping your kids off to him, because what is that about? We didn't really talk about Justin Bieber, but we've seen how his life has. Yes, we've seen how his life has just drastically changed since being in connection with Diddy, and like just to think that people would drop their kids off in hopes that this is how R. Kelly got a lot of them girls as well, in hopes that they would be superstars. But like not having any contact, not showing up for them, not checking on them, like just kind of giving them off to someone that you don't really know for money or hoping that they will be famous is not enough. Like you just giving up all your parental rights to someone you don't even know and you have no idea what's going on with your child. All this for fame is never worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another conversation to have, because why you don't love your children more than that? Like this is why I've always said, if you need a license to drive and you need a license to be a physician and you need a license to do all of these other things, you definitely need to take some classes and have some type of test that you take to be mentally evaluated if you should have children or not, because it's not like people are just doing it willy-nilly. I understand that things happen, and I know my favorite thing to hear, oh, he wasn't like that when I met him, and he never did that until after the baby. And at the end of the day, there's always a sign. I wanted to be one of the people that said, well, you don't know until you get up. And the second you do, why you stay, why you facilitate it, because been there, done that. We've all been in a situation where we were like, well, I can change it, or, it won't be as bad, or I'm different. I'm different. He's not going to do me like that. I'm different. And baby,
never.
You're not that different. So, it's heartbreaking to see. Hopefully she will stop talking about it. And go ahead and go over there wherever Rev Run is at. Oh, I'm sorry, Uncle. What is his name?
Russell.
Russell. Girl, I was gonna say Uncle Rush, but hopefully she. I mean, if she think that, because I feel like she next. I feel like they're gonna bring her in at some point, because mamas always know. It's kind of like when a man murders somebody, or if he's indicated in a drug scam or something like that, the woman that's closest to him always knows, because that's where they're most vulnerable. So hopefully they can get it together, child. But
I'm not standing beside my son doing nothing like that. My baby.
Well, we're different. Like it's very clear that we are a different type of people. And she might got something to lose that we don't know nothing about.
That's true.
I
maybe
really
got some tapes on her.
Possibly. But that's why I don't even understand why she wouldn't just shut up. Like
exactly. Now they're gonna be investigating
like,
you, girl. Please be quiet.
Right.
Be quiet.
Drawing all this unnecessary attention, because until she said something, I'll be honest, I hadn't heard anybody breathe a word about Janice.
I know.
So now, girl,
that is true. Yeah.
You might as well get your suit together, because you'll be in court as well. But yeah, so let's talk about public relationships, because our good friend Halle Bailey, and I'm calling her my good friend because she was the Black Little Mermaid, and I love her so much. And I don't know if it's unfortunate for her or not. They seem at peace about it, but her and her baby daddy DDG have broken up less than 1 year after the birth of their baby boy Halo. Now, this ain't no problem. I've always said having a baby is a prerequisite to a breakup,
girl. Always.
But I feel like he shouldn't. Like, he's going on a press tour at this point. Like, every interview, every time somebody asks him, he has something to say about why this relationship was a mistake. He'll never do it again, and all these other things. And I feel like I'm listening to Boosie speak, because that lady says, stop talking about her. She asked you nicely to please stop talking about her. And now here you go. And, they're going to be family forever. And this, Lynee, I'm going to be honest with you. This is reason number 9,672 why I'm not having children. But
Yeah, it gets unbearable because it's like, golly, not the Little Mermaid. You know what I'm saying? They got you too. That's just how I feel because you look at her. I don't know this girl from anywhere from a can of paint, but you look at her and you see somebody that to me is innocent. Like she even presents herself as someone that's innocent. So I do feel like in a way he took advantage of her. I feel like he kind of saw someone who had that level of purity and wanted to taint it. And was like, well, now my market is on this. You know what I mean? Now she got a baby with me. I won. Ain't that what Offset said? You had my baby. I won. So it's like, I just hate the fact that she ended up a baby mama. It really pisses me off. She did not deserve that. And nobody deserves that. You know what I mean? I'm only speaking on this situation. I'm only speaking on this situation. But nobody deserves it. But she, to me, just in my heart, I feel like she did not deserve to be with somebody like that. Like, he did her dirty to me in my head.
Yeah, I mean,
because she's not even speaking on him. And and another thing, she's not saying anything. So you sitting up here talking about this woman and just saying wild things. Some stuff is nice, but then it's contradicting. You passive aggressive. Like, you doing so many different things when you're talking about her. You're being respectful, then you're turning around being disrespectful. But she has spoke nothing about you. She is moving in silence, okay? Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Ain't
that's what Wayne said. Wayne said.
Why are you not moving in silence like lasagna? This man is just, every time I see him, all he can do is talk about her. Are you sure you don't want her back? Because it's given, I really want you back because you made my life so relevant. That's what it gives to me.
Well, you know, it's often said that women are so emotional and we can't think logically and all these things. But Halle, I feel like, is being very strategic. And DDG looks like he's unraveling in the public eye. And so to me,
they crashing out.
I'm like, baby, Janice Combs, please shut up. Please shut. That's the theme for today. The theme for today, you ain't got nothing positive to add to the conversation. Shut up talking to me.
Please.
It don't make no sense for us to be talking about. I wish that stories would not be important in the news cycle more than like 48 hours. Because once we found out that they had broken up and we saw that the pictures was removed, people said that the pictures of them together were removed from profiles. I ain't even gonna look because I genuinely don't care enough. Yeah. But when I look, if I log into Instagram, here's another video. It's 14 different videos, different interviews, different locations. You done went on a press tour.
And then it's like, it felt like you was waiting for this. Yeah. It felt like you was waiting for this. Like after the baby came, it was like, all right, bet I got that one. I had a baby by the Little Mermaid. I had a baby by somebody who y'all deemed as like pure and precious and a teen idol, a kid idol. Like, I just don't know, Jerrilyn. I be trying not to go on this hate train, but it just be seeming like they be going out to destroy women and it drives me crazy.
They do. I got into a full-fledged argument with somebody on social media the other day because I mentioned, and I don't know what it's like for other women because I'm not in a position to have to rely on men for money. And I promise you, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I have to talk about it because men know that women want financial security. We've been told for years, men and women, that men are supposed to provide, bring home the bacon, have the money there, pay the bills and all these things. So men and women collectively come into a situation and they think that the man is going to be the breadwinner. And when that dynamic is thrown off in any way by a woman who's independent, doesn't mind challenging you, makes her own money, cannot be controlled or manipulated, it gets real tricky. And so they start to feel insecure. And I'm not saying that this is specifically DDG's problem, but I can see
it feels like it.
Him being insecure. And it's like, poor Halle, because she just be trying to mind her business and every day her name is back in the, like, God, please continue to protect me from men who want to slander my good God-given name and humble me because humility is not something I aspire to achieve. Like, I'm not interested in lowering myself so somebody else can feel good
for nobody
about who they are.
Thank you. Not a so. I refuse. Yeah, I definitely agree. It definitely feels like an attack on her. It definitely seems like he's out to diminish whatever perception that the world has of her. He has an alternative motive, and it shows because he can't stop talking about it. He's like, I want y'all to know that she not who y'all think. Even with the I'm not missing out on anything, her head was trash.
Like, who asked you that? Who asked you that?
For what? Like,
because what dudes be saying? what dudes be saying, but she still hit though. Like you still finna be responsible for probably child support. You at the end of the day, you finished in her. So like dudes always, I've never been the type to do, oh, this was trash, blah, blah, blah. Baby, at the end of the day, he got it. I took my L and I went on about my business.
It is what it is.
But I'm not gonna be on the internet talking about it. What are you, a mean girl? I feel he's Regina George. It don't make no sense for us to have to talk about this literally every day.
Yeah.
But hopefully,
kudos to Halle.
Right.
Because she hasn't lost anything. I hope that she knows that she hasn't lost anything, that by him running his mouth is actually doing him a disservice more than it would ever do her a disservice. And she can still pick up the pieces and find somebody who is deserving of her. So I hope it's not lost for her.
Now, if she decides she want to petition the courts for supervised visitation and stick it to him, baby.
By all means, right? By all means, do your thing.
In my opinion, your mental illness is showing, and I don't mean that to be dismissive toward people that have mental disabilities or any type of mental illness. But it's so important that men go to therapy, and I'm glad that this rolled right into our next segment because we saw on social media Fat Joe and Method Man had a real conversation about depression and mental health. And so I love that this is something that a black man is talking about. I don't know. Are we still letting Fat Joe say the N-word? I'm just asking for myself.
I'm crying. You right though. No, I ain't saying nothing. I'm not saying a thing.
But shout out to them because I love this heart to heart, and I think it's a very valuable conversation that a lot of men need to have because they love to throw out men's mental health matters. Yes, okay. Tell your homeboys. Go to the barbershop and talk about that instead of so-and-so's mom who just dropped her kid off who had a fat booty. Like, talk about that instead. So here's a clip that we have from Fat Joe and Method Man speaking on mental health and depression.
Now and then you get a thought about, damn, I wonder what this person's doing. Act on it. Call them. Yeah. See how they doing. Or find some way to get in contact with them. It never hurts. You have no idea how much that could mean to them. Because, I go through these bouts with certain...
Do you still go through that?
Yeah. It never really goes away. It never really goes away. You have, like I said, I have bouts with it and things. And Dave saw that. And he just sent me a text message. Beautiful text message.
Love.
Yeah. And it was like, it spoke to me big time. And all I could put was all of this with a heart emoji. And I don't even give heart emojis, son. But yeah.
It felt good to know that somebody's thinking about you or your well-being or your health. I went through depression after my sister died, Pun died, my grandfather, same time.
I can only imagine.
So I was like 2 years straight going to therapists. And it could be a sunny day, it's dark outside. And what I try to tell people is...
Was it an aggressive type of depression?
No, I went through it. Yeah. Like, I never tried to kill myself or never even thought about that.
But I mean aggressive towards the ones around.
I was aggressive. Nah, I was just sleeping. I was sleeping in the bathtub with no water running.
Wow.
That's deep.
Well, yeah, that's so deep. And they was just so vulnerable and candid. You know what I mean? Like, there was no filter in that conversation, and I think that's what I appreciate the most. I mean, he said he was literally in the bathtub, no water, just looking up, just like trying to figure it out. And I love that they're talking about depression specifically because I do believe that men deal with that the most because they don't really express their emotions. They don't talk about what they're going through. A lot of feelings and things like that are suppressed immediately. Like they don't even really get to sort out how they're really feeling because if it's anything that's too emotional or maybe it'll make you cry or something like that, they are taught to suppress it immediately and discard of it. And so that alone will send somebody into depression. But just to hear Method Man and Fat Joe have this conversation and knowing that people do look up to them. And a lot of people, we don't like to say it, but a lot of people are influenced by celebrities. Yep. And what they say and what they do and what they talk about. So to have two grown men, because them is grown men, they've been around for a long time, okay? Two grown men speaking about this so candidly, I hope that it inspires other men to take the lead on their mental health and talk to somebody and really figure out and get to the root of what's going on and know that it's okay to talk about your feelings. It is fine to talk about your feelings. It is okay to have feelings. It's okay to cry. It's okay. Like, you are a human being. You're not a robot. Stop operating like one. So I hope that inspires others.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it humanizes them a lot, because, you know, men have a lot to deal with. If they're being men, they have to provide for a lot of people. Now, it's some dudes out here that you know, not saying that they don't have the right to be depressed or feel things, but when you see somebody who's taking care of their family, they're getting up and going to work every day, they're trying to build businesses and network and change the culture, like, that's heavy. And so to not feel like you have anybody, even when you're surrounded by a bunch of people, has to be depressing at times. And so what do you think is one thing that we can do as women, short of telling them to go talk to the lady, baby, because I can't say it no louder.
No, we scream that on every episode.
Go talk to the lady. What's something you think that you can do? Because people always talk about, well, make sure it's a safe space. And I'm like, if you are guarded and you don't want to share, it don't matter how safe if you are like resistant to it. So what do you think something that we can do? Because, you know, a lot of times they feel like they have to go through this by themselves.
I think that, so here's the thing that women have. It's I'm going to speak for myself, and if you do the same thing, you know, chime in. But sometimes, right, we go through things and we don't want to always be so expressive. I'm going to speak for myself. Sometimes I'm not going to hold you. I want you to read my mind. So if I come home and you just start rubbing my feet, getting me a glass of wine, just kind of making things more comfortable for me in a space where you realize, like, I'm not okay. Like, I think that's helpful. And if you see it, just put my favorite show on, or just put on a show on that we both watch together and just watching it. Like, it don't always take for a conversation. Sometimes you can see your partner is down and not well and just create a comfortable space for them. Give them a massage, rub their feet, something good to eat, watch something on TV, or just be present. Just be present. You ain't got to talk about nothing. Just have the TV on, have some nice music on. Everybody don't want to talk. Some people just want to know that they're being received. And if they feel received enough, then maybe they will open up and talk to you. But creating a space that's comfortable, to me, is what I would want. When I'm going through things, I'm not always ready to talk about it. But just having that person there, making me feel comfortable, sometimes just opening me up to talk about it.
That's powerful. I'm a little different. I want you to ask me. I'm probably going to have an attitude, face be balled up, huffing and puffing, walking around the house. So, you know, just be like, hey, babe, you good? And I'll tell you if I feel like I can talk to you about things. But also too, like, I've found that just getting it out helps me a lot. Like, I'm not a very I have an outgoing personality, but I'm not I need to be in everybody's face kind of person. So I don't have a lot of close personal friends. So the fact that they'll call me and I could just sit on the phone and cuss for 20 minutes straight about whoever, this girl, that dude, whatever the case may be, and just completely let it all out. Not that I'm projecting, or I'm sorry, not the right word. Not that I'm misdirecting my frustration or anger and dumping on them, but I know that I have at least 2 to 3 people that will allow me just 20 minutes to get it out, and then we can go back to whatever we was doing. Cause I'm like that. Once I get it out my chest, I'm like, all right, on to the next. You know, like I got that out of my system, and I'm gonna tell you something else. Money helps too. If you have some
get out of my face. You are crazy. You are crazy. Money does help. Can't even hold you.
I'm just saying.
I think I'm speaking about men and them not being as. I guess I can relate to them because I told you, and the people have told me I operate like a dude sometimes, you know, in certain situations. And they're not always guys don't always want to talk. They don't want to sit down and have all that communication. Yeah. But making them feel wanted, or creating a space where they know that they're wanted and maybe they want to talk, or maybe not. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I'm saying. You asked, what could women do to make it better for them to be able to talk about their emotions or not talk about them? But I think that would be, I don't know. I think that's a start. I don't think that's the answer, but I think that's a start.
On social media, they saying they want us to shut the hell up for 30 minutes. Like, I looked at a comment, and I was just looking through, you know, somebody had made a post and they was like, fellas, what do y'all want women to do? Like, help us understand. And the dude was like, please shut the hell up. When I walk in the house for 30 minutes, just shut the hell up. I'm like, damn, I can't say, hey, how your day was? Damn, you want me to go? But I dealt with somebody like that. Like, he told me verbatim, he said, I'm not no girl. I don't need to sit up in here and talk about how my day was with you. Now, he was toxic and I left him. But I understand he probably had a lot going on. He didn't feel like, being vocal about anything. And so, I guess we can try to meet them where they are. And they're creating a space so they know that it's safe and you can be vulnerable here. And I'm be honest, I got it real bad about, because I know a lot of times they say that they don't want what they share in confidence to be weaponized against them. And I got it real bad about, if you say something to me crazy, and I know your mama gave you up for crack.
Oh my God, Jerrilyn.
No, because you shouldn't have been talking shit. You shouldn't have been, because you don't get to, I would love to be the safe space for somebody, but here recently, I ain't no safe space, because you don't get to come into my life and cause havoc and then be like, oh, I just want you to, no, you're gonna have to go to hell. But I've been working on it though, because I think it's unfair to ask somebody to do that. And that goes both ways, because people have flaws and people have secrets and they have things that they keep close to the chest because they don't want to be judged or they don't want it weaponized against them. And I understand that. But don't start nothing you can't finish. Because dudes will do that. Dudes will do stuff and then they'll cry victim and we'll be like, wow, your mouth is so disrespectful. And you've been cheating on me for 6 weeks. So, it's a two-way thing. There has to be accountability on both sides. And I don't want it ever to be said that, I don't want it to ever be said that Black women specifically don't want to be there for our men. Because I think a huge problem is that we want you all to be there for yourselves sometimes. And not like, I got the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm Superman. I can do everything. But do those things that will help you show up better in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic partnership, a business, whatever. If you need therapy, go to therapy. If you need to work out more, work out more. Like, literally, I want you to prioritize yourself.
Yeah. No, really. And
prioritize yourself.
Yeah, definitely prioritize yourself. I don't want to be put on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely want you to take care of yourself, because I can be selfish in that way. Yeah. Where I always make sure I'm good. I ain't gonna hold you.
That part.
I always make sure I'm good. And I'm not gonna hold you. It has kind of trumped some relationships because it seems as though I care more about myself, my own well-being, than my partners. You know what I mean? And I know some people might, that's crazy, but I've been in relationships where people really feel like you guys should become Siamese twins and conjoined at the hip. And that's just not my vibe. But you know that. If y'all watch this podcast, then y'all know that. Like, the girl needs space, right? So just finding that happy balance between prioritizing myself so much that it kind of feels like this person doesn't have any space in what I got going on. You know what I mean? Because it could go like this, girl. I be all over the place sometimes.
So a quick question. Do you think it would be different if you felt 100% safe in those relationships? Like, has it ever been? Okay.
No.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, I don't know a lot of women that feel completely safe and they 100% trust their man and just be wilding in a relationship. Like, I ain't never seen that.
And I ain't wilding. I just make sure I'm good, because my mind is always like, this person has the ability to hurt me.
Right.
Like, I'm noticing things, I'm paying attention to things, and it's not so horrible that I should just leave you. You know what I mean? It's work outable. Let me make up a word. It's work outable, right? But at the same time, I can't allow myself to get so caught up that when you do mess up, I'm that thrown off. I can never be in any relationship I've been in when they did something, I was never that thrown off. You feel me?
Yeah. Girl, been there, done that. Been there, done that. And when I say thrown off, I mean like off my center, can't think, can't eat. I had one real bad relationship like that. And I said, baby, I'll never do that again. Because the way I got to still get up and pay my bills and take care of myself and shower and eat and sleep, and like, it's a full-time job to just be an adult these days. So if you don't want this, you ain't got to, like, please go ahead on. And, it's cool. But I'm learning, the older I get to, I see why folks say older people don't have no filter, because I'm almost there. I'm very close. And it's not that they don't have a filter, but they genuinely don't give a
they don't have
flip to. I have too many responsibilities to sit up here and play with you. When you're done, you can come over here and you can talk to me like an adult. If not, keep it moving. So I respect it. And I think we should all be a little more honest, you know, with ourselves and our partners about where we are. But sometimes some things can't be worked out, and you just gotta sue somebody. So speaking of random lawsuits, girl. Why is Lauryn Hill's bandmate Pras suing her? Pras from the Fugees is suing her for fraud and claimed that she mismanaged funds from the last tour. Now, I'm be honest, well, nobody think about Pras before this. So Lauryn said it was supposed to be a 25th anniversary of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and she made it a tour for the whole, you know, Fugees clique to help him with some tax debt. And so I appreciate it, but girl, this is one of them things like, baby, you could have said no and went on about your business. Like, this is when helping somebody goes wrong, because not you trying to sue me now and then slandering my reputation. Like, no.
Yeah, that is like, that's a wild card.
It's random.
Yeah, it's such a wild card. But real quick, right? What happened with Lauryn Hill that she can't sing the songs in a regular tempo? I've seen her. Have you ever seen her in concert?
I think somebody else owns the masters.
Oh, I was trying to figure out, like,
so that's why a lot of artists are in this. They sign these deals, and it's lack of education, and it's lack of understanding of how this business works. When you create anything, a lot of times the people that you use to distribute the art will own, for lack of a better term, that particular piece of art. So like with my music, I made sure that was something like I have a publishing company. All these lyrics are mine. The arrangement is mine. You can't do anything with this. And I have that worked out with my producer. So in 25 years, I'm not trying to go on tour singing a BBL song because I need money and everybody else is making bread off of it but me. So it's just one of them things like, she was young when she came out, so I don't know if that's something that she really understood. But
she didn't read her contract all the way, girl. Because I've seen her, and I be ready to get into the like love talking slow jams. The girl be over there doing a Macarena, be going so fast. I just be so thrown
faster than Mexican music. Why she don't just make some more?
Yeah, no.
Just make some
why
more
does she
music.
just make some more? Yes, like I want her to come out with some more music. I don't know where Lauryn Hill is in her life right now. You know, if she still has that, because everybody changes throughout the years, and so their music changes. But I would love for her to, I would like that same vibe. I'm not even going to hold you. Maybe I'm being selfish as a consumer, but I would like her to tap back into that same vibe and give me something better from where she is now. That would be so dope.
Well, I mean, it don't matter what you want. She's going to be late. So just understand.
And hours late, girl. Like hours late.
Yeah, got up there and told them folks, I move on God's time. Girl, God ain't told you to be 4 hours late for them folks. And then, baby, your audience, okay, I love Lauryn Hill, I do, but I'm not a huge,
I love her too.
I'm not a huge fan, so I'm not the kind of person that puts it on repeat, the album or whatever. But I will say this, baby, your fans are 30 and up. Baby, we done took off work to be here. We want to be in the bed by 11 o'clock. We done rented a hotel because we know we ain't driving back to the house.
Tell them.
Girl, if you don't get out on the stage,
immediately, stat. Girl, hurry up.
Oh,
that's not coming 3 hours. I'm not and then be rushing through the song. They got the nerve to get there late and rush through all the songs because they going so fast. So you only stay up there for 5 minutes.
Sweetest thing I ever know. Like a kiss on the collarbone. Girl.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna play with Lauryn. I am not playing with Lauryn. I love
you, Lauryn, but please do something about it.
Right.
Please.
We appreciate your contribution to the culture, but sister to sister, get it together.
Come on.
And so we're gonna go right into this next segment, which is called Sister to Sister. Now, y'all know this segment because y'all love it so much when we post about it on social media. Tap in with us on speakpipe.com / she said it first. We are licensed professionals in this industry. And we had got like a little master's thing. It was a hybrid. It was a associate bachelor,
honorary doctorate certificate for therapy.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so we be helping people. So tap in, send us your questions, comments, concerns, and we're going to give you our unbiased perspective about it. So this week we got somebody on the line. I'm excited because at this point it's just Russian roulette. But Jahi, go ahead and tell us who we got on the line this week.
Hi, my name is Nevaeh, and the question that I have today is, how long should a man wait before he proposes to his significant other?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
What do you think, friend? Because I'm finna tell her to stay out of men's business. But you go ahead.
Why in the world? I just feel like every situation is different. There's no way I could ever give you an actual number for something authentic because I don't know if you're asking for yourself, and I don't know how far along y'all are. I don't know if y'all was friends for 15 years and then decided to get in a relationship and only been for a year and then he proposed for 6 months because he already knew. I don't know if he's a hopeless romantic and just believes in love and didn't want to propose after 2 weeks. Girl, it's too broad. Right. It's just not enough information. I think a man will propose when he looks at you as a wife. That's what I think. When he feels like you're somebody he can spend the rest of his life with, he will propose, whatever that looks like. Now, it's up to you. See, you got to set your own timeline. So let's just focus on women because now you got to set your own timeline of when you feel like you've stayed too long or when you feel like you guys are rushing things. That's your part. That's where you pay attention and you got to be honest and tell him yes or no. But other than that, I just can't. It's too broad. That is too broad.
That's what I think.
But I will tell you this, baby. After 5, 7, 6, 10, 12, 20 years, I am not, absolutely not. That is where that's a no for me. It's a no for me. I'm never staying. I'm not being a lifelong partner. Yeah. That's what's not going to be in the obituary. She was a lifelong partner. I was
a special friend.
Lifelong.
Is that special for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So you gotta make your own timeline.
I have to agree with that. And because I was raised that relationships are about what I want, not to another person's detriment or to just be completely selfish. But if I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody for 4 years with no ring, then I can leave. And you have to look at also what are the reasons why people are not proposing.
Get married.
Man, because a lot of men feel like their money is up for grabs, whether they have any or not. They're so worried about they're so worried about a hypothetical divorce and having to split 50% of what they shared with a woman who bore children for them, cleaned up behind them, and cooked for them and provided for their family and the home for years that they don't even want to take the chance. And I'm just like, baby, y'all don't have enough. A prenup will fix all of that. And so, it's no reason anymore for people to be so afraid of this type of commitment. If you are not ready to get married, then you don't need to be dating nobody. You don't need to be if marriage is your goal, because a lot of people don't desire marriage. But if marriage is your goal, you don't need to be dating nobody that can't plan dates, that don't know how to communicate, that has a horrible relationship with their mother, who's mean to the children, who takes out his anger and frustrations on you, who don't wash his hands. Because that's important. Speaking, because that hygiene thing, that's enough to break up a happy home. Ain't no way. I can't be with nobody that's dirty. So yeah, you gotta figure out what works for you and, just move accordingly. Yeah. And don't be afraid to move accordingly. If you have your own wants and that person just don't fit the bill, then don't try to mold them. Didn't we just say that? Hold on. Wait a minute. I just posted a video about this and I said, if you don't like this person, or if something that this person is doing is not aligned with who you are and what you desire for your life, let them go. Stop thinking you can change them or holding out for some kind of some drastic change that you think is coming. Yeah. And I've had to learn to ask myself this one question: can I be with you for the rest of your life the way that you are right now today? And I can promise you, I've been able to confidently say no to every single relationship. So it's easy to...
And yeah, wait, Jerrilyn, give them that last line. You got to put that last line in there. Give them that last, because that's important. Here's the cherry on this the part. Everybody need to open your ears.
Testing.
Listen up.
Stop giving him coochie.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we got everyone's attention on that.
This man coochie, because women will do that, and not like folks will be like, "Oh my God, we're not sleeping with people we don't like." Yes, y'all do. Y'all do it all the time. If they say they're gonna pay y'all car note, y'all do it all the time. If they say they're gonna give y'all something on the rent, so let's not act like there's a threshold that women won't go to. You know, like, oh, well, that's all y'all just, you know, I draw the line right there. No, you don't, because if that man, like, everybody has a price. And if you're just not somebody whose coochie can be bought, then you just not somebody whose coochie can be bought. I'm one of them people. It don't make me better or worse than anybody, but I have my own money. So when men be like, oh, I can get you this and get you that, baby, I've already bought it twice. It's over here.
Right. Okay,
so we're not playing that game. But stop giving them coochie. Be serious about what you want in a relationship. Because if marriage is something that you desire and you sleeping with somebody who don't want to be married, you about to hurt your own feelings.
Or even unsure. Being unsure about marriage is still not the person.
The answer's no.
He's Thank you. It's a no. I think that's the part, and I want to go back to your video because that is where I saw it. So you know exactly what I was talking about. I want to go back to your video because I think women get confused because it's not a blatant "I don't like him." It's a he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. But that's what her video was all about. It's like us not identifying that we don't like them. Like. We're trying to give all the excuse, oh, but he got a good job, oh, but he got a car, but I don't like this, I don't like, you don't like him. You don't like him. These are things that's a part of him. So I think we got to start identifying and being real about, like, we don't really like these men. We are settling for a lot of things, hoping things will change, or like maybe over time you can get used to them. It never gave get used to. I'm going to tell you that right now.
And think about that. Think about standing up at your wedding at the first toast and you fix your mouth to say, he had to grow on me. Girl, I burned the whole church down. Oh my God. If a man ever said she had to grow on me, kill me immediately.
Yeah. Immediately. Like,
because no. And women are the only
she
ones
wasn't my type at first.
Women do that. Oh, we do that. We'll do it quicker than a man will. You know, oh, he a little shorter than I like. He medium ugly. He don't have as much money. And what I know about men, they are very deliberate, okay? If the answer ain't yes, it's no. A man that's serious about you and sure about you is not going to put you or keep you in a constant state of confusion. And so when you're dating, girl, whatever the timeline is for you, it ain't about what he want. What's your cutoff? When you done waiting? Because he might not feel like he need to buy you no ring until year 8. Because a lot of times what these men will do, they'll have sex with you, they'll go on dates with you, they'll plan trips, they'll meet your mama and all this stuff, and they'll never put your name on a piece of paperwork that says that you are responsible for pulling the plug at the end of their life. Because I've seen stuff like that happen. And people were like, oh, it's just a piece of paper. Yeah, until you show up to an event and baby mama number 4 say you can't, baby, listen.
Come in. You can't get in the club. How you gonna hang outside the club? You can't even get in.
Listen,
it ain't it. That's not it.
It's just a piece of paper until there's actually something to argue over. Like y'all don't, and you know, maybe we could have an extended conversation about that.
We do. But you have to want that. And I think Jerrilyn is definitely coming from the perspective of somebody who wants to be married. I too. But I do have friends who do not. So none of this applies to them at all. They do not care. This doesn't matter. Like, it don't matter to them. They don't want to get married. It's a financial agreement. I will have to agree in that area that a lot of marriage is financially agreed upon. Okay?
That's what marriage was. That's why marriage was created. People like to skip over that part. Marriage was joining of two families to strengthen and build wealth. Like, historically, that's what it was for. And so now people are acting all confused when women be like, well, I want some money too. But
I think y'all gotta identify it, figure out what it means to you, what those boundaries are, how long you willing to wait, how long you not willing to wait. Do you actually like them? Because I think we went over the definition of for real. Like, write it down. Do you actually like them for real? Yeah. And then move accordingly based on that.
So I mean, me personally, I feel like we just saved her hours of therapy. Like, me personally.
No, for real. I have to agree. I definitely have to agree. Like, she will never have to revisit this topic again.
Ever again.
At least this one.
Girl, Nevaeh, we just saved your life, sis.
Yes, girl, heaven. Period.
Well, unfortunately, it is time for us to wrap it up, guys. I always enjoy hanging out with you, Lynee.
Yeah.
But we gotta tell the people bye.
I know, bye, y'all. But we're not gone forever, okay? Because we are here every Thursday, okay? On the She Said It First podcast, and Urban One podcast on the Urban One Podcast Network, okay? You can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast, but just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you'll be the first ones to know when we upload, okay? Period.
Y'all heard my
Peace.
friend.